begin with, however, it looked like he was largely promoting the loyalists, backstabbers, destabilisers and Ramona globalists who first forced Boris Johnson out and then managed to depose Liz Truss in just 6 brutal weeks. Out go the likes of Business Secretary Jacob Rees-Mogg, Justice Secretary Brandon Lewis, Education Secretary Kit Malthouse and Levelling Up Secretary Simon Clarke. Their only crime are supporting the last 2 prime ministers. In come key wets like Dominic Raab as Deputy Prime Minister, Oliver Dowden as Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster and Mal Stride as Work and Pension Secretary. And Michael Gove, who is inexplicably awarded for plotting and scheming against 2 prime ministers in a row. Is that really how we want our politics to play out? If you behave badly enough, you're kept around the cabinet table because you're just too dangerous on the back benches? And what about Jeremy Hunt, the most powerful person in government and a key plank in the Ramona globalist coup against Truss, who stays as Chancellor because he's now seemingly more important than the PM? He's not popular amongst Tories. He was thrashed in 2 leadership elections, remember. He's pro-China. He's zero COVID advocate, and he argued for a second EU referendum. So how and why is this man there? But despite that criticism, there were things to like about this cabinet too, like Kemi Badenoch taking on the Women's and Equalities brief alongside international trade, just like Liz Truss once did. And most significant was the return of Superwoman Suella Braverman back to the Home Office. The Home Secretary's decision to back Sunak over Boris Johnson over the weekend could be seen as the final nail in the coffin, actually, for the former PM's comeback chances. And she is now the unquestionable star of the right of the Tories, and her success, or failure, if the blob said about trying to bring her down, well, that may well determine if the Conservative Party has even a scintilla of hope of winning the next election. If Sunak wants to prove he is prepared to spurn a globalist or even socialist agenda, as Rees-Mogg might describe it, he has to back his new Home Secretary. He has to back her to stop the boats and end the illegal invasion of Britain via the Channel. He has to back her to challenge the ECHR. He has to back her to win the war on our woke police forces, more interested in halting free speech than keeping our streets safe. And he has to back her to stop the scourge of lawless Britain. Of course, the moment Braverman returned, the MSM and the political establishment predictably erupted, like former Minister and arch-Tory agitator David Gauke, who even tweeted, "I'm starting to miss Liz Truss," which just proves to me how pathetic the Ramona mob are and why they should be ignored, not appeased. They want everyone who thinks like them to deliver on the same World Economic Forum-inspired agenda. So, as you know, I am highly sceptical about a Sunak premiership and deeply concerned that the Conservative Party is facing near terminal decline after abandoning democracy and turning on its loyal members. Sunak should also be very careful about trampling on the legacy of Boris Johnson. When he resigned earlier this year as Chancellor, Sunak wrote to his ex-boss, "I have respected the powerful mandate given to you by the British people in 2019. But today, outside Downing Street, he'd changed his tune, saying this:
"I will always be grateful to Boris Johnson for his incredible achievements as Prime Minister, and I treasure his warmth and generosity of spirit. And I know he would agree that the mandate my party earned in 2019 is not the sole property of any one individual. It is a mandate that belongs to and unites all of us."
Perhaps most worrying of all today, though, was the sacking of the Tory party chairman and Red Wall champion Jake Berry, who just days ago had warned, if we believe in democracy, members cannot be denied a say on who the next leader of the party is. Well, that's happened. It was an anti-democratic disgrace. So Sunak has to do much more to regain the faith of the party, who still view him as a billionaire backstabber parachuted in as Prime Minister without securing one vote.